Hello there, Ray here, and we are back here on the ProtoTech server, and today I want to build up my XP farm that is dragon based that I showed recently in a video, and we are still in 1.10, so this will work fine with our server. And you can see the end island looks quite a bit different. Akron has been working quite hard. He put in this ring behind us. It's pretty thick. It looks really nice. Go around all the entrance gateway portals, and he also put in all of this glowstone on the floor. Oh, it's so crazy how much glowstone there is. But yeah, he did all that. Looks really nice. And KK went ahead and rounded out the center where the exit end portal is. So it looks really nice as well. And now we're going to go ahead and try to build in the conveyor so we can transport the Ender Dragon. And then we have to generate some exit gateway portals and then build the rest of the farm. So let's get started. So KK and I went ahead and we built in the conveyor. It was pretty simple. We just got some endstone in and some redstone wiring. We got all the pistons lined up. The conveyor is made to allow the dragon to be piston warped from the spawn point, which is just underneath of me here, and all the way to this this entrance gateway portal that we got over here. And this is one that we haven't generated yet. The ones on this half we have generated, and the ones on this half we haven't generated. So we'll generate that one today as well. But you can see that we got some pistons which will allow it to instantly retract, and there's only like a couple repeaters in the whole system, so we pretty much have the dragon getting transported pretty much halfway in one game tick, and then there's a 2 game tick delay, and then we have the dragon being transported the rest of the way in the next game tick. So it's very quickly. The dragon gets moved from the center where it spawns all the way out there, so don't really have time to move around or break anything part of the conveyor here. And we got the redstone all in, and there is just a simple cobble generator there which will allow the dragon to get moved as soon as it spawned in. So once the dragon spawns in and breaks some of these blocks here, we have this cobble generator, and you can see how it's working. As soon as that block is removed, redstone comes up here and pulls away this redstone source, which allows this piston to pull back and allow some stone to be generated here, and then it'll push forward again, and this way we can keep generating new stone every time we get a new dragon in, so we don't have to come up here and reset anything. And there is a clock over here that will update it, and I have shown this before in my endstone farm. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get to the far end, and then we'll try to go out and decide where we want to have the exit gateway portal placed. But this is the portal that's set aside for it, and it even says work in progress, Dragon Farm. And yeah, I think we even got like a little pathway that goes out that direction, so I'll head out that way. So I'm out at the location of where I want the exit gateway portal to generate. So we're out here in the void, and I want to generate between the main island and the end islands, or the outer end islands. And my coordinates are pretty much the same location as I showed in the video of the Dragon XP farm, except I want to generate ours much higher. So I want to generate just underneath of the spot where I had the dragon being held in by the pistons. So I want to place in the end blocks around 111 here. So if I just come in and place in some endstone here, I want to place one here, here, as well as here and here, and I want the actual portal block to be placed just above here, and that's why I'll stick one up a little bit higher, so the actual gateway portal will be set right above this one, about 8 meters or so above it, and then this way it'll be somewhat close to where the dragon will be, and then maybe in the future we can find a use for that. But now I think everything is set up correctly. The game should be able to place the exit gateway portal on top of this, and now I'm just going to head back and see if we can generate this one. So with the blocks placed up high out in the void, we should be able to get our exit gateway portal to generate much higher than if we just had them down low. This is the portal that we have to go through to get that one to generate, and we have it blocked off to protect it until now. And the reason why we want to generate it first before building any of the farm out there, because some of the farm will be hanging over top of that, and then the game will probably try to generate the portal on top of that. So we want to generate the portal first, then we come in and build the farm. So I'll just take this block out and we'll scroll right through and see where the portal generates at. Oh, nice. Yeah, this is should be about like 120 up in there. It looks like, yeah, it's perfect. And we are on the corner of the 3 chunks, which is great. This side is east. Yep, everything's perfect. And now I'm going to start building up the actual part of the farm that holds in the dragon and the XP collection. And I'll probably do a nice little time lapse of that. I finished the other half of the dragon farm, which is over here, and I placed in everything. So we got the water source that will hold the TNT for the dragon to explode on, and then we also got some stuff over here to hold the XP in as well. And then I got in all the water streams. The pistons are all activating. Got the clock in over there. It's working fine. It's a nice clock that won't jam up during unloading. All the water's in nicely. The exit gateway portal is underneath here. You can see the piece of bedrock is sticking through. It's kind of cool looking, but it's just underneath here. And underneath here is where the actual portal is. And then back here is the rest of the farm where the player would AFK. Akron came in, he placed a bunch of glowstone. He placed a lot of glowstone actually. I don't think that'll affect the farm at all. And over here is where the player AFK, as well as we started building a perimeter. So that's the next part we're gonna work on. After I do a couple of things here, we should be done. And then we will work on a perimeter. So pretty much the idea is we don't want players to accidentally fly into this area and load where the dragon is. So we want to have a visual reminder not to get so close to the farm. So we're going to build a perimeter all the way around the very top of the world here. And this is just a one high wall pretty much all the way around glowstone. And Akron has put this in pretty much already. And now we're just going to come in and place in some vines, and then we're going to let the vines grow all the way down so that it's a visual indicator for anyone who's flying with elytras not to fly into the farm and load the dragons. So pretty much they'll fly by, they'll see these vines, and they'll know to turn around or just kill themselves in the void, because it's better to lose your elytra than it is to load these dragons. So now we're going to go up and start placing down these vines, and I think it's a 22 by 22 chunk area where we will be placing vines. And I'll probably just do a nice montage. We finish up putting vines around the entire perimeter. This is 22 chunks on each side perimeter, and we just put one row of vines on this glowstone here. And now all we have to do is set some accounts around the outside to let the vines be able to grow. Now in 1.9 they changed where the area where vines can grow. Now vines can only grow in a circle around a player that is 16 chunks in diameter. So we have to put a couple counts all the way around the outside, and we'll try to get all these vines to grow at least all the way down to at least this height, which is in the hundreds, or we can just let them go all the way down to 0. It's going to be quite a bit of updates, but they'll handle it. So I'm just coming in here and putting in a couple little things that I didn't put in prior. So like this TNT duplicator here, I had to put this in here. So I need to get that TNT up against there. Need to get that in there. Now when this gets powered, it should be able to connect up, and then I'll be able to duplicate it and send it back towards that direction, towards where the dragon's at. The piston there that is holding the dragon down also works for 1.11, so if we update to 1.11 or 1.12, that'll still be able to hold the dragons down. Everything here looks good. I changed the water streams up a little bit so they weren't on chunk borders. And then what else? Oh yeah, over here I also changed this piston. The piston that is over here, early on when I was making the design, I was using this piston to drop the redstone block onto this side, and I kept working on this design, and then I forgot to switch out this piston here, so we didn't need this piston that was here. Instead I just got a repeater and some redstone dust, and yeah, it's pretty good. And I also added in the fifth one. I forgot to put the fifth pulse here, so I'll put out 5 TNT per each time the player comes to this side. I also shortened the timing that the players hit here by 1 repeater because we're on a server, and that should work. I tested this extensively with pretty much, I tried to load the entire world we have here on my own server, and I put a whole bunch of lag machines up and stuff trying to crash this dragon farm, and I wasn't able to do it. So hopefully it works fine on here. Make sure the switch is off. What else did I do? I went down here and added another rail so that it will allow the player to go out a little further, so make sure they're unloaded. We didn't AFK too long to let the vines grow. It just takes forever. Let me just back up a little bit so we can see what they look like. They're growing, but it takes quite a bit, and we can make them grow later on. I really want to get the dragon farm up and going, and that's pretty much about it. I think we're pretty much ready to get the dragon, get all 4 dragons over here. Think about maybe using 4 or 5 because we made the delay a little bit longer or shorter. We can actually use probably all 4 of the XPs, and we probably don't need to put a hole in the floor. But yeah, I think, oh yeah, I also changed the render distance. Make sure the render distance on the server was 10, so that it's the perfect distance for this thing to unload it. So everything seems good. I'm gonna double check some stuff, and then we'll try to move some dragons out here. So as you can see, I decided to use 2 accounts instead, one to leave at the main island, one to come out here, and the dragon just came through. Let's go check him out. He's sitting right out there, looking pretty nice. 3 plus B, his bounding box. Now for this first one, I'm actually, instead of having the TNT just getting spammed at him until he dies, I'm kind of lazy. I'm just going to use the minecart to go back and forth and just drop 5 TNT at a time. And by using this method, I don't have to worry about shutting off the TNT duplicator and accidentally having it blow up. So I'm gonna just do that, and that way you can just AFK. Even if he dies, you can still AFK and it can still drop TNT in the area and it won't damage anything. So that's the method I'm gonna use. So I'm just gonna run back here to this minecart and jump into it and flick the switch, and then we should go forward and activate this timer as well as dump some TNT onto that dragon. So if you look at him, you can see he's gonna start taking damage. 3, 4, 5. Then I get sent back, and we'll just keep this up until the dragon is dead. So I'll come back in a little bit, and then once we get this dragon dead, we can start working on the second dragon. So I've just been AFKing a bit, and you can see the dragon has been killed off, and now it's dying. It's dropping XPs, getting some XPs now. Now I'm gonna try to get in the second dragon. So what I'm doing is just unload that dragon. I got a little switch here, shut this off, and get out my minecart. Now I'll head back. Or actually, I'll just stay over here and I'll just get the second count to log back in over there. So the second dragon just came through, and now I'm just gonna go out here and make sure the dragon is being held in place. Yep, he's doing very nicely. Now I'll go back and unload him, and I will head over to the very far end to make sure they're both unloaded. Now I can hop back in this minecart and just turn back on, and I'll start doing the TNT dropping thing. So also get XPs. So you can see one dragon is already dead and he's going up. The second dragon is still there, and he'll start taking damage. Perfect. And now I will just AFK some more until we get this dragon dead. Fourth Ender Dragon has died, and this has completed our Dragon XP farm. This is the fastest XP farm that you can get in survival Minecraft. This means that we can actually go for stuff that's like insanely crazy, which is like maxing out your XP bar down below. You can see I'm close to level 1000. Now by getting to level 21,800, you can actually reach the limit in which you can collect XPs in survival. Anything beyond that doesn't count, but that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm actually going to skip my alternate account, put him in the minecart here, and just AFK for about 15 days and see if I can reach the maximum XP that you can get in survival. And that's what I love about Technical Minecraft. You just try to push the limits of the game to the very brink and see how far you can actually go. Now I also was seeing how much XP is coming through this dragon because I normally would put a hole here right about where I got this redstone here, and that way any extra XP would just fall down and not collect and cause too much lag. But it looks like the actual entity count is staying pretty stable because I have delayed the time that the player sits there, so you don't get quite all the XP that you normally did in the version that I showed on in that previous video. I also lengthened this rail here so that the time it takes to cycle is a little bit slower, but since I lengthened that, I don't really have to get rid of any XP, which is nice as well, so it seems pretty stable. I had a lot of fun building this, going through all the different prototypes and trying to figure out the best way to build this as well. But now you can see I just reached level 1000, which is pretty insane. But I'm going to leave this off for today, so thanks for joining me as I have fun in survival. Bye bye!